Hello, my name's Alison Wilson and I work on the Schools and Colleges team at the University of Winchester. The reason why I deliver the parents talk is I've got two boys who've recently been to university, and when they were looking, I didn't work here, and we had lots and lots of questions that we really would have liked someone to answer. So I hope this talk will answer those for you. So there's a few things that are really important to remember when you're helping a student who's applying to go to university. Things you need to think about are, is the course going to be the right course for them? Are the entry requirements the right level for them? Pick a range of entry requirements. Do they need accreditation? Look at the modules that are going to be on offer. Are they the right topics for the student? Are they going to really interest them throughout their studies? Maybe think about how the students are going to be assessed, and are they going to need any student support? Is the university going to be able to offer that for them? After they've decided on the course they want to study and they know they've got the right course, the right topics, think about the university. So things they might want to consider like for that are, is it a campus or a city university? Is it going to be a large or a small university ranging from 2,000 or 3,000 to 40,000? Think about the city the university's in as well. Do they want it in the city, or do they want a campus university just outside? Do they want a large city or a small city? Maybe think also about the facilities. Depending on the subject they're applying to, the facilities might be really important. For a media degree, they're going to want to know they've got the facilities they need to be able to use industry equipment. It might be that actually it's social facilities that are really important to them, or maybe it could be sports and societies if they're a sports person or they're really interested in hobbies. So think about what's going to be important for that particular student when they're applying. Also think whether they're going to need support from student services, and if they are, make sure that you ask if you go along to open days or contact the university, what support are they going to be able to offer them during their time at that particular university. The really important thing to remember is deadlines for accepting offers. So when students have received all of their offers from university, their UCAS track will update and they will have deadline dates when they need to choose their firm choice university and their insurance choice university. They'll make these two choices, and then when they've chosen those two on their UCAS track, any other offers they've got will be returned back into the system for students that are still applying. This is the most important deadline. If students miss those to make their offers, to accept their offers, then they will lose those places. Confirmation is an important day. So this usually happens depending on the qualification, could be in July, could be in August. But it's the time when the students receive their grades and they find out whether they've been accepted by their first or their second choice university. Just a word of warning, they might go on UCAS track and find they've been accepted by their university, and then later on find their grades aren't quite what they expected. The university has still accepted them, despite the fact their grades may not have quite been what they'd originally asked for. The flip side of that is they might find that they haven't quite got the grades they expected, but don't let that be a real concern at that point until they've checked UCAS track, because it might be the university is still taking them anyway. There are lots of resources for parents. So UCAS has some great information on their website for parents. University websites as well usually have sections for parents to go and look to help support students when they're applying to university. Just a few tips on things that students might want to bring with them. So this first slide is information on equipment they might want to bring for in their flat. Maybe study equipment, maybe social equipment, perhaps things for the kitchen if they're going to be self-catering. The second slide here is giving some information on paperwork they might want to bring with them. So some of this information is really important as backup in case something goes wrong, perhaps with a finance application or maybe with accommodation. So know that they've got that information with them just to confirm what they've been offered at that university. One thing that students say they struggle with the most at university isn't the studying, it's actually budgeting. So make sure they apply for their student finance early. Applications are now open, so they should be making those applications to student finance. If they change their mind, they can always make changes through the system, but make sure they get that application in early. Check university websites as well, because all universities offer bursaries and scholarships. Make sure they get any money that they're entitled to. Some of those they might need to make an application for, and there may be deadlines. Make sure they don't miss out on money that they could be using to help support their studies. A couple of slides now just with some top tips really for sending your student off to university. So things like teaching them how to cook, some basic recipes if they're going to be self-catered so that they're able to feed themselves. Things about how to look after themselves, maybe laundry, particularly budgeting. It's the thing that students do find the hardest. Maybe some very basic first aid, things like buying over-the-counter medicines and how to then take those medicines safely. A couple of other tips as well. A little bit on security, keeping them safe while they're at university. Things like avoiding using cash points in the dark, keeping their drinks safe when they're out at events. Ways to just know that your student is going to be very safe when they're at university. A couple of also words of wisdom on when maybe they want to come home and see you. Try and get them to stay at university for a few weeks at the first time, just so that they get used to the university, they start making friends. It's very tempting to want them to come home really quickly and make sure they're doing okay, but encourage them to stay, do some social things, get to know some people, really make friends in those first few weeks. And then have a look at insurance. It may be your house insurance going to cover them at university and the things they're going to be bringing with them, but just check that. If not, it may be they need to be applying, maybe buying some new insurance just to cover their belongings while they're away from home. And then finally, remember that your child going to university is one of the most exciting times, but can also be really scary for you and for them. Help them to research to make sure they've made the right choices, chosen the right course, but chosen the right university as well. It can be a real gut feel. Remind them what to think about some of those tips I gave earlier on about the course and about the university. Make sure they get the right place for them. Be aware of all those deadlines and make sure they meet them. They've worked hard to get offers, don't let them lose them. And then finally, university probably gives people the most opportunities they're ever going to have. Remind them they will get out of university what they put into it and to have a great time. Thank you.